This is the story of the Wrath of Khan. You can read along with me in your book. You will know it is time to turn the page when you hear the communicator beep like this. Let's begin now. Space, the final frontier. These are the continuing voyages of the Starship Enterprise. A new crew was being trained on the Enterprise. The ship's new captain, Mr. Spock, asked Admiral James Kirk to observe the crew's first training flight. He greeted his old friend when he came aboard.
How are you feeling, Admiral?
Useless, Spock. I feel old and useless. I shouldn't be working behind a desk on Earth. I should be out here in space.
Meanwhile, light years away, Commander Chekhov searched for a test site for an important scientific experiment codenamed Genesis. He and Captain Tyrrell of the Starship Reliant beamed down to investigate a lifeless desert planet. Chekhov saw something through the wind-blown sand.
A ruined spaceship! What is it doing here?
The two men entered the wreck through its airlock. Instantly, a muscular white-haired man seized Chekhov, lifting him into the air with one hand. Chekhov's eyes bulged.
It's Khan! Captain Tyrrell! He's a criminal! He once tried to steal the Enterprise!
Khan smiled chillingly.
Yes. And as punishment, Captain James T. Kirk marooned me and my people here 15 years ago. I've stayed alive all this time for one reason. I mean to avenge myself upon him.
Khan lowered Chekhov.
Why have you come to this planet?
I'll never tell you.
You'll tell me anything I want to know.
Khan carefully removed two tiny, wiggling creatures from a sealed container.
These are Seti eels. When I put them in your ear, they will allow me to control your mind.
Chekhov and Tyrrell shivered as Khan approached them with the squirming eels. Once Khan had control over their minds, he forced Tyrrell to give him command of the Reliant. Then he made Chekhov radio Dr. Carol Marcus, the scientist in charge of the Genesis project.
The planet has checked out, and we have new orders. We're coming to pick up the Genesis device for immediate testing.
That can't be, Commander. Who gave the orders?
Khan made Chekhov answer.
Admiral James T. Kirk.
Admiral Kirk inspected the Enterprise before she took off on her training flight. He smiled at the chief engineer.
Is everything shipshape, Mr. Scott?
Scotty patted the powerful engines lovingly.
Aye, Admiral. She'll take anything you can throw at her, even trainees.
Suddenly, the intercom blared.
Urgent message for Admiral Kirk.
Kirk dashed to his quarters and flicked on the view screen. It was Dr. Marcus. The message faded in and out, as if it were being jammed.
Jim, did you order the Reliant to take Genesis away from us?
Then the picture went dead. Kirk called Sulu on the bridge.
There's something wrong at the Genesis lab. Plot a course for Regular One.
As the starship leaped into warp drive, Kirk went to Captain Spock's quarters.
Spock, there's trouble. Regulations require me to take command of the ship. I'm sorry, I know she's yours now, but...
Spock raised an eyebrow.
Don't apologize, old friend. Logically, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Besides, I have no feelings to hurt.
As they neared Regular One, Spock reported.
The Reliant is closing on us, Admiral. She won't respond to our communications.
Suddenly, the Reliant's phasers blasted into the Enterprise's engine room. Kirk shouted into the intercom.
Scotty! Damage report!
Admiral, the main power is out. The warp engines are wrecked. Whoever's on that ship knew just where to hit us.
A face appeared on the bridge view screen. Kirk couldn't believe his eyes. It was Khan.
Ah, Admiral. I see you still recognize me after all these years.
What do you want, Khan?
I want your life, Kirk. However, I'll spare your crew if your computer transmits all your data on the Genesis project.
Agreed.
Kirk turned away from the screen with a secret smile. Spock whispered to Kirk.
Admiral, you can't give him Genesis.
I won't, Spock. I'll use our computer to lower his shield so we can fire back.
Rapidly, Kirk programmed the computer, then turned to face Khan.
Get ready to receive our transmission.
The computer sent out its signal, and Reliant shields dropped.
Fire phasers, Mr. Sulu.
The blast exploded into Reliant. Heavily damaged, Khan's ship had to retreat into space, while the wounded Enterprise limped onwards towards the Genesis lab orbiting Regula 1. Commander Uhura tried to contact the lab, but the only response was an eerie silence. Kirk made a decision.
Khan's been there. I'm beaming down. Dr. McCoy, come with me. People may be hurt. Mr. Spock, the ship is yours.